A few things that could be helpful to someone breaking into the music business.
Believe in yourself, study the greats and become greater, and be a scientist. Dissect. Dissect.
So we're about to do what MJ just said and study a great, which is Beyoncé.
I'm ready! I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
And I just want to tell y'all that based on what I found, she's definitely a
Clever girl.
because the whole time we thought that this was Beyoncé, Jay, and Blue, the Carters overall, and the whole time we were absolutely wrong. Because while we thought that they were just the Carters, representing something like the royal family, the first family, they were also art in human form that we missed the first time, and I'm about to tell you why. I said art in human form because it went perfectly with what Beyoncé was wearing, a human as art and art as a human. Because she was literally a skeleton. So now let's take family and let's take trilogy and make them one.
What's the inspiration for tonight?
It was right in our faces, and now it makes sense. Like first, let's look up the word family. A family is fundamentally defined as a basic social unit united by ties of blood, marriage, adoption, or deep commitment. It functions as a network of individuals who share mutual support, intimacy, economic resources, and ongoing history and anticipated future. But then let's look up the word trilogy. A trilogy is a set or series of 3 closely related artistic works, such as books, movies, or plays, that develop a single overarching theme or narrative. While each part can stand as an individually complete piece, they share common characters, settings, and evolving storylines. Now let's merge the two together. So I looked up, how does a family tie into a trilogy? And it said that a family ties into a trilogy by acting as the emotional, thematic, or chronological glue that connects the overarching story. Whether following different generations or shifting the spotlight to a new family member in each installment, familiar relationships naturally provide built-in stakes, character development, and a shared history. Let's look up what family trilogy means overall. A family trilogy is a set or series of 3 closely related artistic works, such as books, movies, or plays that follow a single family unit across an overarching narrative. United by ties of blood, marriage, adoption, and deep commitment, the family serves as the common thread connecting each installment, which each part can stand as an individual complete piece and evolving storyline, tracing the family's mutual support, intimacy, and shared history across time. But first, let's go back and highlight some of the things throughout the definition, starting with family first. Highlighting that a family is fundamentally defined as a basic social unit united by ties of blood, marriage, adoption, or deep commitment.
I was thinking about how you described last year as being angry and for the first time in a while. Yeah. I wondered what it felt like to be pulled back into that feeling and how you pulled yourself out, or how you leaned on the people around you.
Yeah.
I've been saying to pull you
I
out.
needed the people around me more than ever. Mm-hmm. Because usually when I have that feeling, I would just make music and just be therapeutic. I'll be able to, I'll bloat it out.
Yeah.
And I would be like, I'll move on. I had to sit in that for a long time. And luckily I had that. And right, again, I've built this this circle that's really safe for me, of people that really love me, not using me, and really care for my best interests. So I was able to have that in the time, the most crucial time for me.
Yeah.
Especially people that were close to me, and I'll explain. So when those type of things happen, people run. They don't care what happened. They don't care. It's like, save yourself.
Yeah.
So I have partners. I've had big deals with, I called my guy from LVMH, hey man, this is coming, and I can't get rid of it. I can't take a settlement.
Yeah.
It ain't in my DNA. First of all, I had to tell my wife, let's just back up.
Yeah.
It ain't even in me. I know what this is the weight that this is gonna bring on our family. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. The makeup, I would die It would have been cheaper, yes. Cheaper, quicker, move on with your life. It was like a testament because people know me. Like, I know who you are, and that's impossible. And not only we standing by you, but what do you need?
Yeah. What did you kind of do to come back from that personally or emotionally, I guess?
I'm still working with that. That's a great question. I'm still dealing with that.
And Jay even talked about how Blue wore a jersey to school with his name on it in defense of the horrific 2024 allegations. But everything Jay said was the definition of a network of individuals who share mutual support. Then he went into talking about Blue Ivy and the support that they had for her and the progress that she made from when she first started out until now, which also goes into that mutual support we talked about.
Watching Blue come into her own even more on this most recent tour.
That was amazing. Like, you know, because on the first tour, you know, there was a lot of conversation around her first performance. Mm-hmm. And she worked really hard to get to that point, but she still wasn't going for it. She still was like going through the motions. And then after that, she just started going for it. Like, she started fighting back. I saw her fight. Maybe for the first time in her life, like fighting back. Mm-hmm. You know, like not everything is just given to her and everything is easy. She had to fight for that and she fought for it.
And now let's go back to the word trilogy and specifically how it says that a trilogy is a set or series of 3 closely related to artistic works that develop a single overarching theme or narrative. And I also want to add that all 3 of them have made an appearance at a big event 3 times. The first time being the Lion King premiere, which was on December 9th, 2024. The second time being the Grammy Awards on February 2nd, 2025. And the third time being the Met Gala on May 4th, 2026. So I think that was a clue to a slow rollout as well. And Jay saying that she wore a shirt to make a point also made me think about all of the shirts Beyoncé has worn, which we now know are clues to something bigger, but how she also probably took notes from Blue to make a statement as well when it comes to who she put on her shirts. Like Kamala during the 2024 election, Tina Turner, in which I think this one is still loading, the Buffalo Soldiers, and I remember when this had the internet in the uproar, and Jay and Blue, in which I think this one is still loading as well.
No matter what, I mean, I don't care if the whole world is against you or tease you or say you're not going to make it. Believe in yourself. No matter what.
No matter what.
But if you've seen the full interview Jay did with GQ magazine, then you may or may not have paid attention to how the scenes change. And I'm about to break it down to you. So first let's look at the dark background scene. And everything you see in the background is everything he included in his GQ magazine photo shoot. Like this in this picture, this in that picture, that in this one, and this and that one. And now when you look at the white scene, you see there's nothing but a white background there. Now look at the scenes together. Then look at these 2 pictures he took side by side where he's wearing a black and white suit. So I think that he's definitely Famine. And I know you probably thinking, well, Famine is black. But when I get to Jay part, I'll tell you why this all matters. But you just have to stay tuned. Now let's talk about the past, present, and future theory. To me, Jay is Famine, with the freestyle being a prime example because it's his time to
Pop out and show niggas.
But another reason I say this is because look at the picture where I put the albums on top of them to represent them as the actual albums. And then look at the thumbnail to my 4 Horsemen theory video. And I know I used the picture from her British Vogue magazine to represent Act 3, but that's all the 4 Horsemen. But if you want a little something extra about the Vogue cover, just look at what it says. It's been in our face here and here. And then look at this. And the black one came through Cowboy Carter, so that's not really one of her official covers. But she still completed or en route to complete all 3 horses. But him saying,
say it again. Oh. She not working tonight. Y'all cut that shit out. Motherfuckers ain't satisfied. You can't give you enough, huh? Y'all want everything. You want this pocket too, huh? Took everything out of this pocket. You want this pocket too? Okay.
And I just want to point out that this was posted on a Revolt and the Roots Picnic Instagram page, merged together. Heavy on the Revolt. So Beyoncé went to the Met as her album Renaissance. And Renaissance is the pale horse, which represents death. and that explains the skeleton she wore. And this massive blush to gray feather train she had on almost looks as if she's shedding her skin. And that makes me think of Kendrick's lyrics in Reincarnated where he said,
I got this fire burning in me from within. Concentrated thoughts on who I used to be, I'm shedding skin.
So we know that the pale horse represents death and Renaissance represents the rebirth, and which I would say is the rebirth into something new. And I was already side-eyeing the wordplay if you caught it. Like, just look at Kendrick's song title Reincarnated, then look at Beyonce's album title Renaissance/Rebirth. Then you'll notice that pattern. And to give you one extra, it's if you look back at the Levi campaign she did and how it was named Reiimagine. And I talked about this before, but she gave us this hint in her 2024 Kamala rally speech.
The sacrifices made so we can witness the strength of a woman standing in her power, reimagining what leadership is.
So that pattern is definitely important, especially if you look at the word revolution. But him saying that specifically in Reincarnated and Beyonce shedding in real time, like if you think about it, in the time Beyonce did this Renaissance look, the order of the albums would have been like this. If Cowboy Carter and Renaissance was arranged in its original order before Beyonce switched them around, because then the order would be Cowboy Carter, Renaissance, then Act 3. So this really would have been a transition from Renaissance to the new revolution, like she said in My House. And this is something extra, but I want to share with y'all that both of her earrings looks like if you put them together that it would make the infinity sign. That was just something extra that I wanted to add though that I noticed. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but to me, it reminded me of the infinity sign. But even Beyonce wearing this crown-like headpiece made me think of the Statue of Liberty in her crown here. And I talked about this in the Met Gala reaction video that I did. And how if this was the original order, that when Beyonce introduced the Statue of Liberty to us during the Cowboy Carter tour, that album would have been going into Renaissance if it was Act 1. Which means it wouldn't be too far-fetched for her to be wearing a skeleton from the Renaissance era and a crown from the Cowboy Carter era. And with the history behind the Statue of Liberty and how she was supposed to be the representation of a black woman, and this goes along with what Beyonce said in Amen when she said that the statues they made were beautiful, but they were lies of stone, they were lies of stone. So that's why this picture of Beyonce standing in front of it is so powerful. Because the truth is that it's really supposed to be a symbol of freedom for the enslaved black women, hints at why the chains are broken. So I interpret this as Beyonce showing us that black women and young black girls are supposed to look at this statue and see the history behind us. And the reflection of a woman that a younger girl can see in herself, kinda like how you would look at this powerful picture. But even if you look at how she had the colors changing when it came down to the Statue of Liberty on different nights of the tour, and how the green, which is the lies, cracked and fell until it turned back into its original color. And that makes me think of Jay saying,
The roots remember, even when the trees pretend.
Almost as if it represents the truth beneath the lies, close to what she said in All Night on the Lemonade album. But I also think that her sharing this picture, which is a reference to Lemonade, almost as if this is the smoke before she brings the fire, which is the Lemonade don't hurt yourself energy.
Some of the greatest men that have made a mark on this world were treated like that. You know, you're not gonna do it, you're not gonna get anywhere. They laughed at the Wright brothers, they laughed at Thomas Edison, they laughed at Walt Disney. They made jokes of Henry Ford. They said he was ignorant. He didn't have a college degree because he dropped out of school. Disney dropped out of school. They even took Ford to court to prove his intelligence. That's how far they went, yeah.
But now I want to point out that one day I was watching the movie Soul and this scene popped up. And I instantly thought about how it reminded me of what Beyonce had on the side of the Met Gala. Like that's usually the primary color people will wear to a funeral. And if you go back and look at the things from the Beyoncé Bowl, then you will see that her wearing this head cover was a statement as well. And also how that's usually something a bride will wear in her wedding, but another person will wear to a funeral. But how white turned into black, mourning what once was, like she did in Lemonade. So the scene on the outside of the Met Gala was Renaissance because of the skeleton in Renaissance, and the scene on the inside was Cowboy Carter, and the black and the gold stars in Cowboy Carter. But if this is happening how I think it's happening in this specific order, then Beyoncé being Renaissance, Blue being Cowboy Carter, and Jay being a representation of Famine from the Four Horsemen, then Beyoncé being Renaissance from her being a skeleton, Blue being Cowboy Carter with a sprinkle of Renaissance from her shoes, and Jay being Famine with a sprinkle of Renaissance from the diamond-studded bow tie or the tie element he wore with his black suit. And it makes more sense now that you look at it. So stay tuned to see more evidence to why I said this. But even how you see the timeline merging into one, like two Carters who hold the masculine and feminine energy merged together to become one. But I also wanted to add that Blue shoes give Cinderella vibes, which reminded me of this dress Beyoncé wore during the Renaissance era that made me feel like it also gave Cinderella vibes. But the whole reason I wanted to show y'all all of this is to prove that Beyoncé is a clever girl. Like, you just have to look at this picture again, but this time look at it in a past to present format, which are all the moments in one. Like, we called them eras, but now look at all of them as if they were merged together as one. Because looking back at what Beyoncé did during the Levi era, which at the time I predicted that her putting her pants in a washing machine, that when she took them out, that they would be diamond studded. But she went one step further to make a whole set be diamond studded. And going back to how Cowboy Carter was supposed to be first, which was the denim era, her putting the denim Levi pants in a washing machine and adding diamonds was her ultimately merging Cowboy Carter, which was the denim era, together with Renaissance, which we know was the diamond era. And I talked about this in a Levi commercial breakdown here. So looking back at the merge, Beyoncé has on white, Beyoncé had on the diamonds, and Jay having on a black suit, merging into one whole trilogy, which is why Beyoncé said that the night was about family. And this is Cowboy Carter as Famine, with a sprinkle of Renaissance. But it's also crazy that the word famine has fam in it. Again, but this is also the definition of fashion being art, which is on these of the Met Gala. And this is why I said Beyoncé was a
Clever girl.
Because even though I seen a lot of dislike for her Met Gala look, the whole time her look was just a speck in the bigger picture. And she knew it the whole time. Especially when she said, and this is also why she told Jay to come here to bring her artistic vision to life, ultimately making fashion art, telling us that she was just one queen bee out of the whole hive.
And these are men that shaped and changed our culture, our customs, the way we live, the way we do things. And I think God plants those seeds through people on the earth. And I think you're one, I'm one, to bring some bliss, some escapism, some joy, some magic. Because without entertainment, what would the world be like, you know?
Tell them where y'all get ready to go.
We get ready to go to Michael Jackson concert.
Oh yeah, you going to a Michael Jackson concert?
Yeah.
All right. She's gonna get her hair combed over, baby. She's on her way to see Michael Jackson. Say hi, Grandma.
Hey.
Y'all ready to go see Michael Jackson? That's on my house.
Yeah.
How would you like me to describe you?
A legend in the making.
Legend.
Yeah.
That's big.
I said in the making.
Leave those bees alone, Beyonce.
I want y'all to know, right now, you are witnessing my dream.
You are Beyonce. And
She